What is up, everybody? My name is KJ, and I try to get better each and every day. And I make these videos hoping to inspire and to help y'all to do the same. So let's get into it. This video, we're going to be talking about something that will help you to live longer. It's going to boost your memory and your creativity. It's going to make you look more attractive. It's going to help you stay slim by lowering your food cravings. It's going to protect you from the cold and the flu and help to prevent cancer and dementia. It is going to lower your anxiety and depression. It's going to make you feel happier, and it's 1000% natural and 100% free. Some of y'all might have guessed what it is. We're talking about sleep in this video. This is the ultimate guide to sleep and how you can improve your sleep and improve your life. Are you interested? I know I am, so let's get right into it. So, sleep. Why do we sleep? Now, whether you're in the evolution camp or like me, you believe that God created us and He created the world, sleep is a non-negotiable. It doesn't matter which one you believe. Sleep has been around since the beginning of time. Every animal ever studied slept. Imagine how important it must be that we spend half of our life in this dead-like state just laying there when we could be out finding food or creating something. It must be important. Now, we humans call ourselves smart, but we are the only species on the planet that intentionally avoids sleep and then brags about it. Studies have proven, and you can check out the description if you want to know the science behind it, it will increase your muscle mass, it'll increase your energy, it'll decrease your anxiety and depression, it'll make you feel happier, it helps regulate your hormones, it stabilizes your metabolism, and so much more. We're going to get into that later. But sleep is absolutely essential for any life. If we can improve our sleep, we can improve our life overall. And I'm going to show y'all how to do that in this video. But first, we got to understand, how does sleep work? If we want to get better sleep, we got to understand, how does it work? So there are three major players in the sleep cycle. If you can understand how they work, we can use it to transform our sleep and get better sleep. And the first player on the sleep team is the circadian rhythm. Now, the circadian rhythm, it's like our body's internal clock. It helps our body to know what time it is. Our circadian rhythm stays in time by using light, temperature, eating habits, and other things to help regulate and keep us on that 24-hour cycle with the sun. So if your circadian rhythm is off and your body is sensing that it's really only 5 p.m., but it's actually 12 p.m. in real life, you're going to have a hard time going to sleep. Second player on the team, this is melatonin. Now, melatonin regulates the timing of the start of our sleep. It tells our body, hey, yeah, it's dark outside. We should probably go to bed. However, there's a big misconception, and melatonin doesn't actually put you to sleep. And this explains a lot. If some of y'all might have known, if you take melatonin, sometimes it'll work great and you'll fall right to sleep. Other times you'll still be awake and it won't feel like you took anything. Now, this is because if melatonin is the missing link in these three, then yeah, taking the tablet might help you to fall asleep. But if it's not going to help you at all. It's pretty much just signaling to your body that, yeah, it's dark, so if everything else is in order, we can go to sleep. It's like the guy at the track race firing the gun. The rest of your body is waiting on the melatonin to signal that, hey, yeah, it's dark, we can go to sleep. And the third player is adenosine. Now, this is sleep pressure. Whenever you start feeling really tired, it's more than likely due to this chemical. So what happens is, the longer you're awake, the more this chemical builds up in your brain. This chemical makes you tired and less alert. So if you've been awake for just a couple hours, there's not a lot of adenosine built up in your brain. But the longer you stay awake, the more it builds up, the more tired you get. Caffeine actually blocks these adenosine receptors in your brain, which is why when you drink caffeine, you'll feel more alert and less tired. But we're going to have a whole section on caffeine later, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. And then we have a fourth reason that is not so much talked about, and this is the emotional side. If you're very emotional, you're in that fight or flight mind state. So if you're very anxious, very depressed, this is how insomnia happens to a lot of people. It's like their body is telling them that there's a danger nearby. Now, obviously, this is a good thing to have built in, because if we were in the wild and we were trying to sleep and there was danger nearby, you wouldn't want to be in a deep sleep just so you can wake up and run. But for us, this ruins our sleep quality because we're laying in bed. There's nothing dangerous coming to get us. So you want to keep your emotions in check before you go to sleep. So if your circadian rhythm, your internal clock is saying, hey, it's 11 p.m., and then your melatonin is saying, hey, it's dark outside, your adenosine is really built up, it's making you tired, and your emotions are stable, you're going to want to go to sleep. Now, pay attention when I say this, because most of y'all are probably in this boat. You may be able to go to sleep just fine without all of these lined up and in place, but your sleep quality is going to greatly suffer. We need to have all three factors working together and firing at the right time in order to get the best high quality sleep we can. Now, let's go over what happens when we don't get enough sleep. Now, everything I'm about to say is backed by science and is proven by multiple studies. So if you want to see that, check the description. Now, if you don't get enough sleep, you're going to lose a ton of focus. You're going to have way less energy. Your short-term memory is going to suffer drastically. Your ability to commit things to long-term memory is also going to go way down. Your growth hormone is going to go way down. You're going to have a 40% drop in glucose absorption. You're going to have more emotional swings. You're going to be more emotional state. You're going to have more anxiety, more depression. Scientists have found that you actually eat 300 calories more per day when you're sleep deprived, which totals up to around 15 pounds a year. You also eat more junk food. You make worse food decisions when you're sleep deprived. And probably the worst thing is the part of your brain that does emotional thinking and decision is going to be raised, and the part of your brain that does logical reasoning is going to be lowered. So this is going to lead to you doing easier things like watching Netflix or doing anything like that instead of doing the hard work that you know you should do. I don't know about y'all, but there's been many days where I've been at work after getting 5 or 6 hours of sleep and just not wanting to do anything, just trying to take the easy way out. So now you're probably wondering, am I getting enough sleep? So studies show that you should be getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. Now, don't get this messed up. This does not mean 7 to 9 hours in bed. This is 7 to 9 hours of actually being asleep. Now, I know what you're thinking, and I did too. You're thinking, oh, I get that pretty easily. Well, pay attention when I say this. This is the biggest misconception that people have about sleep. Now, you may be getting 9 hours of sleep, but if that sleep is not high quality, it is not good. So how can we tell if we're getting high quality sleep? Well, first, if you're having to be woken up by an alarm, then you weren't done sleeping. Second, if you're tired around midday, if you have a sudden just drop in energy, you probably didn't get enough sleep. If you can't focus during the day, if you're having to reread lines, or you're just staring at your phone, you can't even remember why you opened it. If you have bad short-term memory, having trouble remembering things and committing new things to memory. If you're avoiding hard things, taking the easy way out. If you have multiple of these things, then you're most definitely sleep deprived. So even if you're getting enough hours of sleep, you're not getting enough quality sleep in those hours. But let's talk about how we can fix that. So how can we get the best sleep possible? Now, you don't have to do all the things on this list, but I want y'all to try to do as many as you possibly can because sleep is so important. It is the foundation on anything else. People used to think that it was eating, exercising, and sleeping was the trifecta. Really, it's sleep is the foundation, then the other two build on top of that. So try to do as many of these as you can. 1, and this is by far the most important, is to go to bed and to wake up the same time every single day, no matter what. Now, this goes back to that internal clock we talked about. Imagine each day you woke up, you were just on a new time zone. The whole world ran on a different time zone each day. It was jump 4 hours ahead, jump 2 hours back, jump an hour ahead. Everything would be so confused and no one could get anything done. This is about how it is for your body when you don't go to sleep and wake up at the same times. So help your body out and improve your sleep by going to sleep and waking up at the same time. Now, this could be any time you choose. Maybe you're a late sleeper. You'd rather stay up till 2 a.m. and then sleep till 10. It doesn't matter what time frame it is, as long as you keep it consistent every single day, weekends included. Second, make sure your bedroom is dark and it's cool, around 65 degrees. Your body has to drop temperature when it goes to sleep, so the colder it is, the much easier, more quality sleep you're going to get. 3, avoid all drugs after midday. Now, we're going to talk about drugs and sleep in a second in more depth, so stick around for that if that's something you need to work on. 4, stay off all screens at least an hour before bedtime. Preferably 2, but at least an hour, no screens. Now, you might be somebody who can watch TV or sit on your phone and go straight to sleep afterwards, but this is so dangerous. Studies have shown and they've proven that just reading on an iPad before you go to sleep drops your melatonin by 50%. So melatonin can't do its job by 50% because of you reading on a screen at night. This is like pushing your quality sleep back another 2 hours. You're losing that 2 hours of quality sleep at the start of your night because your melatonin is so blunted. 5, when the sun goes down, turn all your lights down, turn on the lamps, do whatever you gotta do to make it kind of simulate the sun going down and it getting darker. Avoid at all costs, if you can, having just bright lights on, especially no LEDs. We don't want to trick our body into thinking that it's daytime when we should be going to sleep. Number 6, you want to exercise every single day. Do some kind of physical activity so that by the time it's time to go to sleep, your body is worn out and you're tired and you're ready to recover. I don't know about y'all, but I used to work moving back in the day, and that was some of the best sleep I ever got. I would be working on moving jobs for 6 to 8 hours and come home absolutely wiped, and I would sleep so hard and feel incredible the next day. Number 7, try to get 30 minutes of sunlight each day. This helps with the internal clock and telling it, hey, it's daylight right now. It's not going to be daylight later because it's daylight right now. 8, avoid eating 1 hour before bedtime. So don't eat right before bed because your body's going to be digesting those things. It's going to be harder for you to go to sleep and harder to get good sleep. Along with this, at dinner, try not to eat a high carb dinner, and especially sugar. Avoid sugar at all costs at night. Y'all know how I feel about sugar. It's a drug. You shouldn't be eating it at all. But if you're going to do it, please don't do it right before you go to bed. It's going to keep you up. Number 9, no naps after 3 p.m. Now, naps have shown to be really good, and they can help you. But if you're having trouble going to sleep, then stop napping after 3 p.m. Just like we talked about, that adenosine builds up the longer you're awake. So if you're napping at 3 p.m., it doesn't have time to build up enough adenosine again for when you actually need to go to bed. Number 10, take a warm shower or bath before you go to bed. So this will help your body to get the right temperature it needs to be. So when you go lay down in a cool bed, you'll be able to go to sleep. Number 11, this is very important. You have to get out of that fight or flight anxious mode. Just like we talked about, it's going to be hard to get any good quality sleep if your body is thinking there's something out there that's going to get you. If your body believes that you're in danger or some kind of stress, it's going to be hard to get good, deep sleep. Now, this is something I struggle with personally. It was just super hard for me to go to sleep, and I was getting bad sleep for years. So what I like to do is I like to get 15 minutes of meditation in the evening every single day just to kind of lower that stress level and to get rid of all those thoughts I'm thinking about. I also like to go on walks in the evenings before or after dinner just to process things throughout the day so I'm not thinking about them when I go to sleep. Also, a big one for me and other people who like to work a lot is telling yourself you're done with work in the evening. I don't know what you have to do, whatever ritual you go through, but telling your mind and telling your body that, hey, we're done working is going to be huge. It's going to help you to go to sleep when it's actually time to go to bed, so you're not thinking about work. And I don't recommend this unless you've done all the other things, but ashwagandha is a vitamin, and it helps you to kind of calm down. It's a little stress reliever. So I used to take that too to help me go to sleep. So those are the things that I highly suggest you all try to implement as many as you can and just see how incredible it'll be for your sleep. Now let's talk about sleep and drugs. This is very important. Now before you click off, you're thinking this doesn't apply to you. Don't click off. You're a crack addict just like the rest of us, I promise you. When is the last time you went 1 full week without any drugs? I'm talking 1 full week without any caffeine, any sugar, any Tylenol, any of the other drugs. If your answer is years, then you're a crack addict just like the rest of us, so stick around because this applies to you too. So when we talked about sleep quality and quantity, so we have to get enough sleep, but it's got to be high quality, and this is where the drugs really hurt. So some drugs seemingly help you to go to sleep, like alcohol, marijuana, other sedatives. The problem is that these drugs blunt your brain getting into the proper sleep cycles. So you might be sleeping 9 hours, but your brain is only going through 5 hours worth of its phases of sleep. You're drastically sleep depriving yourself, and you probably don't even know it. Now, stimulants do the same thing, and they actually hurt you going to sleep. So this is caffeine, for example, or nicotine. The main thing is if you want the best sleep possible, you have to stay away from all drugs. And I know how hard this is with drugs being so mainstream these days, especially caffeine and sugar. If you don't think sugar is a drug, you're lying to yourself. Try to go a week without it. Speaking of caffeine, I want to give it its own segment in this sleep video. Now my story, if y'all know me, I absolutely loved caffeine. I drank it for the past 5 years straight, probably getting around 300 to 400 milligrams a day. I know it's ridiculous. I have a problem, but that was my story. I know how hard it is to stop drinking caffeine. There's just something about it. Whether you loved Diet Monsters or Celsius like I did, or you're a coffee fiend, there's just a whole culture around it. And it's so hard to get up in the morning and not reach for that coffee or that Monster. I hope you listen to me when I say this. Sleep is so important that it has to come before caffeine. Now I know some of you love it and you don't want to quit it, and I get it, and I didn't want to either. So here's what I did, and this has been working for me. It's still a work in progress. I'm still learning, but this has helped my sleep so much. The first thing I did was I took a full month off. I had 0 caffeine for an entire month, 0 drugs. Next, I started introducing caffeine back on days when I can afford to stay up a little later and sleep in if I had to. So for me, I'm off on Fridays. So on Thursdays, I would drink coffee and I would try to get a little more extra done. And I knew if I didn't go to sleep on time because the caffeine was still messing with me, I could sleep later on Friday because I was off. And you want to consume it within an hour to 3 hours of waking up. So you don't want to drink it as soon as you wake up. You want your body to wake up on its own. But you also don't want to wait too late so it takes too long for the caffeine to wear off before you go to sleep. Now the half-life of caffeine is 5 to 7 hours. Now what that means is after 5 to 7 hours, depending on your genetics, the caffeine will half itself in your body. So for me, I like to drink around 100 milligrams. I keep it safe early in the morning, and then every 5 hours it halves. So 5 hours goes by, now there's 50 milligrams in my system. Another 5 hours, 25. Another 5 hours, 13.5. So you can see why caffeine doesn't wear off like you think it does. It goes exponentially down. So the problem is you could drink around 300 or 400 milligrams early in the morning and it could still be in your system by the time you go to sleep. Now that was what was ruining my sleep. Maybe it's ruining some of yours, but I hope this video helps. Alright, so this is KJ from the future here, editing KJ. And I just wanted to make a note of something here. Most of y'all have no idea how much caffeine you're actually getting per day. So this is just a black coffee from Starbucks on their website here, and a tall has 235 milligrams of caffeine. That is so much caffeine. Now this isn't even a grande. We can look at a grande. You're looking at 310 milligrams. It's insane. Let's say you're crazy. You go for the venti, 410 milligrams. So some of y'all are drinking 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day. You're getting close to these numbers. And like the way that half-life works is in 5 to 7 hours, you still got 200 milligrams of caffeine coursing in your veins. You're a crack addict, just like the rest of us. But if we want to sleep good, we got to figure out how to drink less. And so if you're going to drink anything, do what I do. Get a short, literally still has 155 milligrams. Drink it early. Just pay attention to how much caffeine you're actually getting. And some of you may be thinking, I'm a caffeine veteran. I drink it every morning. I drink it throughout the whole day, and I still go to sleep fine. Well, I ask you to please try to take a week off and see how much better your sleep is. Because even though you're drinking that caffeine and you can go to sleep just fine, that adenosine is still getting blocked. Even though you're going to sleep, you're not getting quality sleep. So I ask you to please try it. I was in the same boat. Just try it. It's incredible what it can do for your sleep. Sleep is so vitally important for our life. I hope you give it the attention it deserves. So yeah, this has been KJ. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single video on how we can get better each and every day. I'll see y'all next time.
Watch me do my dance, 100 in advance. When it's spinning on a bench, rolling with my friends, couple hundreds in my pants. Flew me out of France. Used to everybody hating, now they wanna be my friends. But I ain't got time for the fake ones.